Harp's House. In your eardrum.
Speaker box.
Man, wherever you want me to be.
You're now listening
to Harp's House. Thanks everybody for tuning in to Harp's House. I'm your host, Jonathan Harper. And I've got the pleasure to introduce a dear friend of mine. His name is Justin Rhoane. He grew up with me in Southern California. And he's a huge basketball fan. He's got something special that he wants to tell you guys about. Justin, tell some of my listeners a little bit about what Hoop Prodigy is and kind of how you came about this idea.
Well, I appreciate the time, Harp. Like you said, we grew up playing ball in SoCal, and that really gave us that foundation and the love for the game. So what I wanted to do was, take all of that fun experience that we had playing AAU ball, high school ball, and even college ball, and pass that knowledge down to the next generation of kids that are coming along. So I came up with the concept of Hoop Prodigy, which is basketball education, innovation, and lifestyle. And what that means is education is the foundation of everything. So first we want to educate kids on how to play the right way. Instilling the fundamentals, making sure they know how to approach the game from both a mental and physical standpoint. And then innovation is exactly what that means. We live in a world of technology, and not only, new technologies and things that help us improve our lives, but also innovative ways of thinking and different ways to approach the game, not staying stuck in the past. And then lifestyle is all about how we live and breathe the game, from nutrition to culture to, how we enjoy the game with family and friends. So that's basically what Hoop Prodigy is in a nutshell.
Gotcha. Now, I know you've been a competitive athlete for years. You've been a part of, many winning programs and many winning traditions. Tell us a little bit about, growing up, how you became, really involved in basketball and how it became your number one sport, like your true love growing up.
Well, my dad put a ball in my hand at a very young age. My dad played college basketball at Michigan State back in the late 60s and early 70s, and he had a little short pro-am career. And back in those days, the options of basketball weren't what they are today. And, he put a ball in my hand at a very young age, and I just grew up loving the game. I grew up loving the Lakers, a little bit of the Clippers, but, growing up in Southern California, there's a lot of basketball options. I played AAU and travel ball with the Los Angeles, or the SoCal Cavs now, are what they called.
Gotcha.
And played at Gar High School for a few years. Then I played in the JC ranks at LA Harvard College, and then I was a recruited walk-on at UNLV.
Gotcha.
Played a little pro-am in my later days, but that was about it. And I just have always loved the game, and I've always loved to approach the game from a mental aspect. And I've always wanted to continue being involved with the game, even into my adult and later years.
Now, tell us a little bit about, what's it been like having your dad, like you said, somebody who's played at the Division I level. Have you kind of bounced around some of the ideas with Hoop Prodigy off of him? What's his feedback kind of been?
Yeah, my dad, he's 63 and will be 64 in February, and he still plays in his adult league.
Gotcha.
And now he has been a high school basketball and college basketball official for the last 30 years. So his approach to the game is very mental, very analytical. I mean, he has seen some of the best athletes. He has officiated some of the best athletes in the world, and some of the best basketball players in the world. Everyone from Jordan Farmar, Tyson Chandler, even your boy from the Lakers that played with the Lakers and is now with Houston, Trevor Ariza.
Gotcha.
In the LA unit.
Okay.
So
okay.
When we talk about Hoop Prodigy, he really kind of presents information and different things from almost like an official's, a referee standpoint,
okay,
where he's viewing the game as a whole, not so much as a player.
And if a parent is listening to this podcast right now, once again, thanks for tuning in to Harp's House. If they want to find out more about what exactly Hoop Prodigy is, what should they do? Like, where should they go to kind of find out some more information about what you would offer to them and their son or daughter?
Well, we do everything on our website. Our website is our hub and our foundation. It's a digital age, so just go to www.hoopprodigy.com, and from there you can find everything. We have a wide variety of services. Our age range that we work with are boys and girls. We typically start off about age 10 through 17. We offer instructional videos, nutritional information. We have a great blog. We do one-on-one personal training. We do digital training where we can pretty much offer you training from anywhere in the world. We have consulting, and we also have a variety of products and training services that we sell on the website.
Gotcha. So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, in addition to the website, you can find us on social media at hoop.prodigy for Instagram, and then hoop prodigy on Facebook.
Gotcha. So if, like you said, I know you're based out of Southern California, but with the web, you can kind of be everywhere all at one time, right?
Yeah, it's really changed the game. We're going into a new age where traditionally, you do a lot of training one-on-one in a gym.
Right.
Now we have the ability with new technology to do online training where we can get videos, we can get information from a player no matter where they are. I've had information and videos from players in India, Australia, and then we are able to analyze and break down their game just by looking at video footage. So it's really changed the game, and it's really changed how people are able to connect around the world. Believe it or not, Instagram is a very, very big tool in our marketing. Instagram and Facebook. We do some stuff on Google where there's some organic search engine optimization type of stuff, but a lot of the stuff comes from Instagram and sharing and doing the right hashtags, and then people just find us. They see what we're doing, they reach out to us, and then I let them know what services we have, and then we kind of just take off from there.
Gotcha. So like you said, if I'm a parent in Nebraska, Oklahoma, all the way to New York, I could literally get some video of my son or daughter and send it to you and email it to you, and you'll break it down. Is that how a little bit one of the services you guys offer?
Yeah, that is our digital training platform. So we have a particular name for it. It's called the Prodigy Report.
Okay.
So basically, it's kind of like just what you said. A parent will who may not have the resources that we are blessed with down here in Southern California, or maybe New York has a lot of basketball resources, or the Northeast. If you're somewhere where you don't have the opportunity to connect with a lot of coaches that have different experience levels, you would contact us. You would look at one of our service offerings, and you would send us information on the player, right, along with video. If you don't have video, we will send you some suggested workouts to do. And these workouts you can do in your driveway, you can do at the gym, you can do at the park. And pretty much everyone has a smartphone now where they can record video. Gotcha. So you record some video, you send it over to us, we break it down, we analyze it for you. You can use it as a benchmarking tool, and even at the higher levels, we start to use it as a recruiting tool.
Gotcha. Well, thanks, Justin. We're going to take a quick break right now. We're here with the CEO and founder of Hoop Prodigy and the Prodigy Report. We'll be right back on the other side of the break. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by Harp's House again. I always appreciate it, and I always welcome new visitors. Again, we're here with Justin Rhoane, the CEO and co-founder of Hoop Prodigy and the Prodigy Report. Now, Justin, tell some of the listeners and some of the people at Harp's House what made you want to be a part of basketball innovation.
Well, I like to, you said the word innovation. I like to think of, myself as a basketball innovator, constantly moving forward and, constantly moving forward and understanding where the history of the game and where, the modern game has come from, understanding the spirit of the rules, understanding the spirit of the game. And it's always been my MO. I've always loved, pushing things forward and pushing boundaries forward and seeing what would work in this scenario, what doesn't work in that scenario. And I think, much like society, if we continue to do things the same old way, things just don't get better. And we always want to continue to get better. Gotcha. And that's really what pushed me to, create Hoop Prodigy and try to look at the game that we love with a different pair of glasses, a different hat on, a different, approach, new shoes, new clothes, a new way to run this offense, a new way to play defense. One of the biggest things that is going on right now in innovation with the game is this notion of positionless basketball, where we start seeing the LeBron James and Anthony Davises and Ben Simmons of the world who come in, they don't have a defined position. And pretty soon we'll get to the point where you'll have your 5 best players on the court all playing, and they have no definitive position. That's the beauty of the game, and that's what makes it so great and makes it so innovative.
Gotcha. So we've got a kind of a complete, I guess you would say, synopsis, or kind of wrap your head around what the Hoop Prodigy is, what the Prodigy Report is. So I greatly appreciate that. Now let's switch gears a little bit. You are at Harp's house, so I like to change up the interviews and do some different things. So, you are a Southern California kid. So would you say, if you were building your dream house, because you're at Harp's house, would your dream house be on the West Coast or the East Coast?
Well, I had the opportunity to live in another city, live in a couple other cities, and there's no place like SoCal, right? So I think I would have to say West Coast if I was building my dream house.
Gotcha.
Now, are you asking me what that dream house looks like, or just is it on the East Coast or West Coast?
Just East Coast or West Coast. So you're not really big on all the seasons. You don't need snow, and you don't need you just want ideal weather pretty much all year long, I guess you would say.
Exactly. Just give me that heat and give me the beach. That's all I need. Gotcha.
Now, are you more of a suburbs kid, or do you want to be kind of in the belly of the beach, like in a downtown kind of loft area, if you were choosing?
You know what? I think kind of like the area where we grew up was great. We were not really in the suburbs, but we weren't really in the city. Little town called Cerritos, California, which was 20 minutes from the beach, right, and 30 minutes from downtown LA. So, that works fine for me. I like the traditional there's some great neighborhoods in LA, Santa Monica, Brentwood, right, Culver City. Give me those cities and I'll be good.
Gotcha. So you want kind of a hybrid kind of suburbs place in Southern California. We're building this house as we go. So we're gonna kind of put it together on the fly. So if we're walking in your house, tell me some of the things that I might be listening to. Give me 3 albums that I might hear when I walk in Justin's crib.
Very easy. One album you'll probably hear is Common, like Water for Chocolate.
Really? Why that one?
Grammy Award winning. Yeah, that's that one for sure. You will probably hear some Miles Davis as
Drop
well.
one of Clues bombs for Miles Davis. Go ahead.
Yep. Probably Miles Davis, Rebirth of the Cool, or maybe like some Miles Davis, Bitches Brew, something like that.
Gotcha.
Then
who put you on Miles Davis? Is that something you just stumbled upon listening, or who did your pops put you on that?
Pops put me on that a long time ago. I grew up with jazz. Miles Davis, Duke Ellington, Wynton Marsalis, all of those guys. I'm an avid jazz aficionado.
Gotcha. So I guess you would say basketball and jazz kind of have some similarities, where it's kind of free flowing and it kind of just takes on the form that it is on the fly. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, it's all about the ad-libbing.
Gotcha.
If I had to put a soundtrack, if you had to do if I could choose one of Miles Davis's ad-lib riffs, right, I would love to put that soundtrack with Allen Iverson crossing over Michael Jordan or doing one of his dribbles. That right there is artwork right there. That alone is beauty.
Like
right
that slow motion video just kind of watching it all kind of transpire. You even if you know what's going to happen, it's still something about, like you said, watching the answer go to work at the top of the key with the shot clock running down, like you said, with the bed of jazz on it. It's nothing like it.
That's a great idea. I think I'm going to mess around with that and do a little Instagram video for that, because that sounds like an amazing idea.
Gotcha. All right, so we're in your crib. It's like you said, kind of the suburbs, Southern California, beautiful weather all year long. You got Miles Davis or some Common playing. Now, what kind of photography or artwork would I see in this home when I'm kind of walking through some of these rooms?
I like 3D. I like items that are on the wall that protrude out. My wife and I are very. You look at my house now. People have described our house as kind of bohemian.
Okay.
A little bit, and you'll definitely come in. You'll see a picture of Miles Davis, maybe a black and white picture of Miles Davis, and then you'll also see some original photography that I took.
Okay.
Of my wife and I on travel around the world, whether we were in Tanzania, in Africa, or Italy, Spain, France, wherever we end up. We always take some great photography. But in addition to that, you'll see some statues, some different plants and different things like that on the wall. Everything from Malcolm X to an X-Wing from Star Wars. They're kind of all over the place.
Gotcha. So we're staying with I guess you would say, the photography realm. How different are some of the photos on your wall when you were growing up compared to some of the photos that will be on your house today, in your house today? Is it like a dramatic difference, or were you like kind of an artwork kind of kid growing up, or were you more so like you had your favorite athlete on your wall?
I had my favorite athlete on my wall. I had Jordan. I had that famous Jordan picture where he's holding up Spike Lee by the head.
Oh, gotcha.
The Mars Blackman one,
right?
Where, you know what I'm talking about?
Yep, I had that one.
I had that one.
Did you have the wings photo with Jordan with his arms stretched out?
I had the wings one a little bit later on when I was in middle school. So, yeah, I was like your typical kid. But in my house, my dad was very artsy. My mom was very designy, if that's a word. So, we had a little mix of stuff. We had family members, pictures on the wall. But then we also had some really cool artwork that was always on our wall, and different little statues and different little things that were on the table. So I would like to say that I grew up in kind of like an artsy type of household.
Gotcha. So like you said, your parents were very supportive of your athletic endeavors coming up, balling on, track, basketball, football, that sort of thing. If you could choose, let's change it up. If you could choose any, I guess you would say, any family to live in terms of TV, like what family would you be a part of if you were to kind of be a part of a TV family?
This is going to sound really crazy, but probably the Bundys.
No way. Not the Huxtables or Will Smith or Blackish?
No, the Huxtables, maybe Blackish because they have some real stuff, but the Huxtables were just too clean cut and everything.
Gotcha.
My family was a little bit more like the Bundys, where, Christmas came around and we got into fights over, the food that was left over or whose toy was which,
Gotcha.
A little bit more comical. That's kind of the household I grew up in.
Gotcha. So speaking of that, like, what was your favorite childhood memory? Did it have to do with basketball, or was it something different?
I think it's a mix of them. I had a lot of good memories. If you're talking about basketball, I loved, being a kid and, going up to our local rec center in Lakeview Terrace every January for basketball season, because the same kids came in and out. We had some really good players from around that area. And that was really happy, but Halloween was great in my neighborhood. I grew up in a really fun, neighborhood where everyone knew each other. And, the seasons were great. Going camping with my dad and my brother up at Yosemite National Park, that was great. We got a chance to travel to Hawaii. So, I have a lot of happy memories growing up as a kid.
Gotcha. So, once again, we're going to recap a little bit about your house. So, you have a little bit of Miles Davis. You have some Common playing. You have some 3D art playing on your walls. It's Southern California. You like the weather. Are you a beach guy, or you kind of stay away from the sand, or you just want the sun and the ideal temps?
The beach is awesome. You can't beat the beach. There's nothing better than a Sunday at the beach and then hitting some margaritas and chips and salsa.
Gotcha.
I mean, you can't beat that. Or maybe even like a Dos Equis or a Pacifico.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's California living. That's what it's all about. And here in SoCal we have Venice Beach.
Right.
So now you can get the best of basketball,
right,
and the weather and the boardwalk and everything that makes it great.
I never forget watching White Men Can't Jump when I was a kid, and like you said, that idea and that vision of, like you said, just street ball on Venice Beach, that sweet science of the game is definitely one of my favorite movies of all time. That's funny you said Venice Beach. So yeah, if you could say something to your childhood self, as an adult, what would you tell yourself growing up? Because I know, like you said, we both had visions of getting to the pros and playing in the league. What would you kind of tell your childhood self now regarding, I guess you would say, basketball?
I would tell my childhood self the chances of me making the NBA aren't as good as I think they are.
Gotcha.
But that doesn't mean that you can't have a professional career in basketball and doing something you love. And if I could add something along with that with my childhood self, I would tell my childhood self to take classes in technology.
Gotcha.
And that was something that wasn't a big thing growing up. It wasn't something that was readily available to a lot of kids.
Right.
And I think with everything that we have now, coding and just knowing the ins and outs of computer science, that's something I would have mentioned.
Right, because like you said, when we were kids, we just had basic word processing, but we didn't really start to use, quote unquote, the internet until we were, kind of late high school, and then for sure in college. But like you said, when we were growing up, we used the computer to just type out a paper, but it wasn't, like you said, it was nowhere near the extreme that we use it today. We completely rely on it. So like you said, that would have been a very valuable resource. Like you said, not only in just academics and athletics, but just life skills in general.
Yeah. And that stuff was only made back in the day. You were a nerd, was looked down upon to be a computer geek or this and that. And these are the guys who are making millions of dollars in Silicon Valley.
Absolutely.
So, and right now there's grade school kids right now that are learning something new that's going to be, something that we're going to depend on 20, 30 years from now in the future.
Right.
So, it's always important to try to stay ahead of the game and make sure that you're always educated, make sure that you're always learning new things and never turning down something because you think it's uncool or your friends might laugh at you or something like that.
Right.
You always want to be encouraged as a kid to do things no matter what.
Right. Speaking of the future, where do you see yourself and Hoop Prodigy in, let's say, the next decade?
Ideally, in the next 10 years, the Prodigy Report will be the number one recruiting platform and software for kids who are looking to get recruited by mid-major schools, JCs, D1s, D2s. I look forward to be that. And then in addition, we will have a couple home bases where we would have a full training facility where people from all over the world can come and train and learn about basketball and get educated and host some of the best events that basketball has to offer.
I guess I could still ask you this question, at 32, 33 years old. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be someone who, people can look to for, an answer. I want to be someone who people can look to for inspiration. I don't care about getting rich. I don't care about buying a yacht. I don't care about having a private jet. I want to be someone who leaves a legacy for the next group of people and leaves a piece of education, a piece of understanding, based off of my life's work. That's really what I want to be when I grow up. And I don't know what the term is for that. I don't know, if there's a specific genre for that. But, in the end, I want to be able to leave a legacy for not only for my family, but for for kids and youth and, society that have to inherit this world after me. I just want to make sure that I have a footprint in that.
Regarding the youth, what was the best advice you received growing up?
I remember, my dad and my mom giving me some chores or something like that, or I had to do something and I didn't want to do it. And I was sitting around, and I remember my dad just sat me down when I was pouting because I was like, I don't want to do this. And he just looked at me. He said, "You know that Nike commercial?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Just do it." And that just stuck with me. And whenever I feel down, or whenever I feel uninspired, or whenever I feel, less than capable, I always see my dad's face sitting there with it was more about the confidence. It was more about how his inflection in his tone and what he meant by it. I always think of that Nike commercial. I always think of my dad saying, "Just do it." I want to innovate, and, rather than do something in a field or an industry that I don't necessarily have an emotional connection to, basketball is family for me. And, that's why I wanted to, be in basketball and continue to innovate in basketball. So it means a lot to me to move the game forward and making sure that I have my fingerprint on that.
Once again, we're here with Justin Rhoane, the founder and CEO of Hoop Prodigy and the Prodigy Report. Justin, for all of our listeners here at Harp's House, tell us one more time where we can find some of your information.
The best place to go to is our website, hoopprodigy.com. hoopprodigy.com, all one word. You can find everything there. You can contact myself, my business partner, Pancho Hodges. You can book online, book directly with us for anything. There's a lot of free information on there, instructional videos, downloadable workouts, nutritional guides, and a great blog that we post numerous stories about topics pertaining to education, innovation, and lifestyle, great videos. You can spend all day on the site really going through some of the content, but hoopprodigy.com is the place to go to find out more information.
Thanks again, Justin. I appreciate it. And thanks everyone else for listening. Again, you're listening to Jonathan Harper at Harp's House. If you want to contact me via email, reach out at harpshouse1@gmail, or you can tweet me. I go by Harper, so I am Harper. Just like I am Diddy. I am Harper. You can also follow us on social media at I am Harper, again on Twitter and Instagram. Again, follow your heart. I encourage everyone to do what they feel and just be the best. God bless.